The great thing about The Rise of Skywalker is that it will allow fans to see Mark Hamill portraying Luke Skywalker for the very last time in the sequel trilogy and based within the Skywalker saga by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing I will say is that it's really gonna have to be a thing that a lot of fans around the world come to terms with, is of course, that Mark Hamill will be portraying the character of Luke Skywalker for the very last time within this movie, and that he is gonna give it his all, and he's really gonna portray the Luke in ways that we would have never expected to see on the big screen. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks for this movie, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that during the month of January, Mark Hamill shot a sequence that were being filmed during the month of January, including Mark Hamill on set over in Cardington, where he was dressed in his ceremonial robes. The set design was in the form of a cave on an unknown world that is said to be a part of Kylo Ren's story, to which the scene progresses to a moment in which Hamill was instructed to wield his iconic green lightsaber in his right hand, where he was in front of Adam Driver in a defensive stance. Adam Driver had his red crossguard saber prop, where he performed a sequence where he sprinted towards Luke Skywalker as they both locked blades together. The scene gives a rich and clear look at a saber duel between both Kylo and Luke, where they exchange different moves against each other. Mark Hamill was shouting dialogue related to Han Solo, and what Kylo did to him in order to boost up Kylo's remorse. The scene is very dark and grim inside of a cave, where a full moon is seen out the exit that will be keyed in with a green screen. Mark Hamill rehearsed the sequence around 5 times with Adam Driver before they filmed the moment that lasted around 7 takes. Additionally, Hamill provided his own lines of dialogue and was able to improvise and come up with his own words that would be delivered to Adam Driver portraying Kylo Ren. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and what I take from this whole entire sequence. Now, first things first, do I think Luke Skywalker is alive in the flesh in this moment? I'm going to go ahead and say no. The reason as to why I believe that is because this is based within a cave, and it almost seems like that J.J. Abrams is really trying to mimic and or create a parallel to what we received in The Empire Strikes Back, where Luke fights Vader in the form of a vision, and that's exactly what I think is happening here, is that Kylo Ren is fighting the Luke Skywalker vision with his iconic green lightsaber and locking blades with him, exchanging a couple of moves, where the actual, vision of Luke Skywalker, whatever you want to call him, apparition or whatever it's going to be, this could be Luke's Force Ghost for all we know, wielding a saber, but I doubt it. This seems more around the lines of him being in the form of a vision, where it's indirectly giving Kylo Ren a certain lesson. Maybe it's pretty much reading what Kylo Ren's subconscious is telling him, is that you really do feel bad about killing your own father, Han Solo, and that's exactly where this story is going to go. So the other piece that I do want to go over is how Mark Hamill actually was able to come up with his own lines for this part in the movie. Now, that to me is very impressive. In case you guys did not know this, we heard about this almost a year ago, actually, that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio had a plan in place where a lot of the actors would have their ability to improvise. They would be able to come up with their own lines of dialogue for certain scenes. And this also applied to actor Mark Hamill, and respectfully so. To me, I think that this scene in particular is going to feel more real. The fact that Mark Hamill is delivering his own lines of dialogue, and I think it's going to feel more true to the character, because at the end of the day, we've heard Mark Hamill really give out all of his opinions on The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and what he would have done, and let me tell you, he could really write a great Star Wars movie if he really wanted to. So Mark Hamill coming up with his own lines of dialogue, I have no issues with that. In fact, it makes me more excited for this movie to see Luke on the big screen and exactly how he's going to be utilized in the movie by JJ. So the other piece that I do want to go over that also stood out to me a lot was the moment in which they are inside of a cave, where Mark Hamill is shouting out dialogue about Han Solo, and it's described that in the background there is a full moon out the exit of the cave, giving it a dark and grim type of feel to it. Now, that to me, it sounds like, once again, this is JJ's recreation of the Dagobah scene, where Luke is fighting the apparition of Darth Vader, or the vision of Darth Vader, I should say. And what I like about that is that it's really going to be different in a sense, to a certain extent, because this is Luke Skywalker after all, and then we have Kylo Ren, but Luke is doing something a bit different here. Luke is actually talking to Kylo Ren in this vision, whereas opposed to in The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader did not have any lines of dialogue in that vision to Luke Skywalker. So I'm sure the imagery is going to look far different than what we got in Empire, in order to really make itself set apart from that film, in order to not make it feel like it's just a direct copy. But I can really tell immediately that this is a parallel by J.J. Abrams of that scene in Episode 5. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.